Hello, world. Welcome to the Elise Morgan Experience. Today, my guest is Mary Gooden, and Mary is head over heels for creating loving and lasting change across the globe by accepting and loving all of herself and others. As a speaker, mentor, and publisher, Mary joyfully supports conscious coaches, thought leaders, and soul inspired entrepreneurs in building bountiful businesses and becoming published authors through her VIP experiences. And 18 times, yes, I said 18 times international best-selling author and CEO of Divine Destiny Mentoring and Publishing. She blends soulful wisdom with practical strategy to amplify visibility, impact, and prosperity. Her mission is to make life and business easy, fun, and extraordinary for those ready to embrace their brilliance. Well, welcome to the show, Mary. I am so honored to have you because those of you that don't know, but how would you know? Mary is one of my mentors and has helped me tremendously on my journey of life and where I am right now and becoming. So it is an honor to have you here, Mary. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Elise. It's an honor to be here. And I believe that we're all mentors to each other in some way, shape, and
Yeah.
form because in being willing to open a space for others, which is what I love doing, I also learn, with what I'm saying. I always talk about being the witness of what's coming out of your mouth, what's happening in your life, but to that too. So I think we're always activating one another, but what a blessing it is to have connected with you. I guess in August it'll be a year, so we're not quite a year along in our journey together, and I have been so excited to witness you, Elise, as you just keep stepping into what feels so yummy for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making it and helping me see the yumminess because when we met, we got closer very recently, but we met somehow. I don't even remember, like you said, last August. And I think you met me in the middle of like the really uncomfortable part of that growing, like the breaking out of the caterpillar. What are the caterpillar? What are they in? I don't know.
The cocoon. I had the problem the other day too. Like, what the hell's that thing called?
I
Cocoon.
this middle age stuff is your words leave you. But yeah, breaking out of the cocoon, and it's a frustrating yet needed process of your growth. So that's when we kind of met, when I was kind of like, oh, I hate all this and I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to be. And I was very agitated. I feel like that's a good word, but you know, make it easy, make it fun, let it be easy, let it be fun, which is one of Mary's books, by the way,
I've
which is
got it
written,
here.
but yeah, there you go. And I highly
This
recommend.
is my proof copy, by the way.
Yeah. I highly recommend that. I read that book myself, and it's a lot of stuff you already know as a life coach or someone who's been on a personal development journey, but it's a different perspective, and I think that always helps. Like you said, with all of us, you can know one thing and hear it in such a different way, and it just makes it like almost like an aha moment, even though it was something that you knew. And also, what I love is, like you said, when we speak to others to help them, we're reiterating it back to ourselves sometimes, like the very thing we need to hear that day, as well as something maybe one of your clients may be hearing. But
Yeah.
why don't you let the listeners have a little background on how you became this excited, fun human that is just a burst of energy and light and love?
I feel so alive. I feel like all of that truly, really, open-heartedly with open arms. And it really just, some of you might recognize we might classify ourselves as old souls or just mature ahead of our time or just ready to go. And that was me at 17. I was like, let's frickin' go. My parents were parents. I'm in my late 40s, so you know how that, I don't know what they call us. I don't take any labels, but they were not good, bad, or indifferent. It had nothing to do with anything other than I was ready. Let's do this. I got married to my high school sweetheart, and he was in the US Navy, and we just headed to Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is where I kind of evolved into the contrast, or I don't know the word, but into my life of creating success from a societal standpoint, just like reaching and climbing and striving to get to this level of success or satisfaction, really, only to find out at somewhere in my mid 30s that it was all BS. In a sense, it wasn't BS. Let me just say that. But the BS behind it was all this energy that we put forth for other people's dreams, for other people's businesses, for other people's brilliant idea, which, as employees, even as an executive leadership in the corporate realm, which I called a carnival,
Yes, it is.
we're highly focused usually on somebody else's dream,
Mhm.
somebody else's business, somebody else's idea. And we put all of our energy, or I did, into to holding this line for them. And what it eventually did, which is what started my process of, wait a minute, Elise, was that I started having panic attacks at 33.
Mm.
I had two children, and I had my first panic attack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Isn't it fun? And I thought I was having a heart attack. And my husband, so I am divorced
I love
once.
that. I love that's great. I never heard of that.
No,
I gotta
right? Isn't that
I'm
fun?
writing
It
that
just feels
down.
better. My husband,
I'm gonna write that down.
he used to be, right?
Oh, I
My
love
used to be. He was underway at the time. Again, he was a career Navy. He ended up in the Navy for 22 years, which just after that started a whole nother level of expansion. But yeah. And I just was like, oh gosh, I'm cooking dinner for them. I'm running a bath upstairs, and it starts, and I'm like, I don't want them to know. So I kind of took the phone back when we had landlines, but they were cordless, right?
the
You remember
big
those?
one. Pull the thing out.
Right. And I'm kind of booking it over to the neighbor across the street to kind of, because they're adults, right, to get their awareness. And I didn't, I called 911 in between, and a whole scene
Wow.
with the fire trucks and the ambulance. And it was just a whole scene. And I left the bath running. So thank goodness the neighbor caught that. But it was just it was an awakening, right? I didn't right away step out of anything, but that was my biggest awakening. And what you already know about me is I have a background in yoga and Reiki, over 2 decades of energy work, breath work, as well as a business leader, all kinds of fun things. But that's was my heart chakra speaking. That was my heart saying, enough. Your mission, your purpose, your passion, that's what you came to share. And that took about 4 years. That's kind of but that was the crux of, like, oh God, this is not my life.
Right. So did that particular incident lead you to that healing work for yourself initially?
So it activated that in me, that I needed to be with my practices more. I was already yoga certified. I was
Oh,
teaching
okay.
10 fitness classes a week. But I also taught weights. I was also a runner. So, I was overdoing everything.
Yeah.
I was working full time. I had two children. My husband was away,
All the time.
rarely home, and there was no blame there. It wasn't a bad story until I was like, my body.
Yep.
So I went a little deeper, and at first it was challenging. Every time I would sit to meditate or to breathe, I would just feel pain in my left side body. Just an annoyance of something's wrong, the fear. And it just took practice, daily practice, which is what I still advise to every one of my clients, my
Absolutely.
friends, everyone I talk to. Just like you said in the book I wrote, um, let it be easy, let it be fun. It's a 21-day journey of daily practices, because they really never stop.
Never.
I never stop the daily practices, especially the whole practice that I put together in digging my way out of that imposter life. But my body had to. And I like to get people to, like, you don't have to get to that place, but you might. Now, here's what I love about this story, just to give you an idea of where I am now in my life. I believe, okay, so I am a publisher, and that very story is the only story I had when a woman came to me and said, "Well, you share a 3,000 word chapter in this book titled Phoenix." And I thought, well, I don't have a story. And I was already divorced and remarried by this time, but I put all those little imposter things in the way. But it was my story, and I believe that the only reason I call it my 25-year forever ended is so that I had this experience, this activation to move, we talked pre-show about some act, getting to the next level. That I was actually, that was my activation to be able to see myself more, to recognize that I have a purpose. But I did get to go through, I got to go through all of that and come out a victor. And some people don't, but it's a choice. So yes, that was really that heart. I became a daily practice.
We speak about that a lot, even for myself, what we call the non-negotiable practice of your day. And I know mine's in the morning, yours is in the morning. I think most people that I know, it's in the morning so that you can start your day. It doesn't have to be in the morning, but this isn't about you reach out to a mentor, and whether you're going through something or not, and learn how to do, some maybe, meditation in the morning or yoga practices, or going out into what you call give it to the land, or being outside in nature. And you do it for a week, a month, 3 months, and then you're okay. It's something that is needed daily. And as humans, we need it. It's
Mhm.
something that our imposter life has
Right.
indoctrinated into people, that you don't remember that this is what you need. You need that inner connection. You need the connection to Mother Earth and nature, and to just function as a human, especially in the way the world is now. And I like when you said you get to go through that, because when we're not taught to say, like, "Ooh, let's get to go through this." We're taught to, like, oh, I'm the victim.
I had to, right.
Well, look what's happening to me, and what can I take for it, and what can you do for me? And it's that panic attack could have happened to anyone, and they might have been like, I have to go to the doctor, or what's wrong with me, and maybe go on meds, or go that route. So it's intriguing to me that, well, you were already into yoga, but still, panic attacks to me are un it's your body yelling, like, let's, whatever thoughts are coming in, you might not have the unconscious thoughts. It's your body screaming, like, no, this is not good. This is, danger, danger. What was that show? Lost.
Yeah. That's what it kept screaming. This is not your life. And I heard myself say it because I was medicated on a low dose of Celexa, an anxiety medication. And I was so mad at myself that I had to medicate. And then I was really angry at myself at this point. Like, how did you let this get like this? But I want to circle back to something you said. As you recognize, yes, my practices are start in the morning. It starts with me. I start every day with me. And you had also said that you too. And what I wanted to say is I believe just knowing my clients, knowing what I know and what I've learned is most people find more success by starting in the morning. But here's the thing. This is the thing with that. Most people will say they don't have time because guess what? I got to get up and I got to get the kids. I got to get up and I got to get to work. I got to get up and I got to get to something else outside of me. And we've been taught that.
Yeah.
So the biggest shift that you can honor for yourself, if anybody's looking for a quick tip, here it is. Like, start taking a 3-minute timer a day and letting that 3 minutes, that first part of the day, and I'll give you something to say if you want, about you. And so this is how I started. Truth. Before I got out of bed, hands on heart, show me the way today. What is mine to share? I quit saying, what do I have to do? Oh God, I got a long list. I don't wake up with that. I wake up and I take the first moment where I'm just kind of coming to, and I honor myself.
Mm.
And even just 3 minutes, it started with 3 minutes. Now, hello, after I resigned and after I started really making a commitment to Because when you do this, when you give yourself time, you start to see the easy path to what it is you are purposefully here to accomplish. And newsflash, it's the thing that is your deepest desire. Those two are an identical match. Yeah, your purpose and your deepest desire, identical match. But if I'm not giving myself the time of day, I'm not giving myself any part of me. I'm giving it all to everybody else, right? Work and kids and husband and soccer and whatever. I'm not knowing what that desire is. I'm not giving myself any time to feel that. So I struggle with what is my purpose? What am I doing? Why am I here? Because I won't give myself a moment to say, yeah, Mary, why are you here? I'm too busy wondering why everybody else is here or why that showed up, you know?
Yeah.
So mine grew from 3 minutes. Now, everybody hold on to your seat. I don't generally do anything to take calls, see clients, or kind of interaction that is an energy exchange until about noon every day. I get up, I give myself the time of day to, and yes, my whole life changed. I resigned and I went walking effortlessly towards more passion. At the time was a fitness club. I bought a brick and mortar, semi-retirement, I called it. I'm writing a story about it that's launching May 5th. Um, but yeah, semi-retirement. I started really dancing, and you can appreciate this, Elise, because you know fitness, right? I started really going into something that felt better for me. And I could see other people's responding, they were happy. It was making other people feel joy, which is at the bottom of my bio, right? To help others find more joy.
That it's a beautiful story because you it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're doing things for others. Because what popped in my head was I know so many young women who are married, don't have kids, they are working and they don't have that connection because even though they don't have ties to other people to take care of other people, they still don't have to, they don't still take the time to meet themselves or to ask themselves what they want. It's still that like, I got to get up. And even if they say I got to get up and go to the gym, even though the gym's good for them, it's the got to get up and go to the gym.
Gotta get up.
I gotta, I gotta do, I gotta this, I gotta that. Not like I am, hello, good morning, Elise. How, what do you
Yeah.
want to do today? Or how do you today? And I'm big on just being grateful for something. So that's the if you're in gratitude, then you are in your vibration of you and your desire and all that, all your purpose, if you can be in gratitude. So if you can wake up and just be in gratitude, that's also that can take three seconds to find something and then feel it so that you don't first start into like, what do I have to do today? Oh my God, my boss, my paper, my this, my that, and because you're disconnected completely from who you are or maybe what your purpose is. And like you
Mhm.
did, and most people, you follow this indoctrinated plan for
Right.
yourself. And then we wonder why, especially as women. I think women are just most women, there's exceptions to every rule, are very nurturing and want to take care of other people. And you have your kids and you just are always looking outward. And we're not taught to look inward first. And it's so important. And I've learned that, we've worked with on that too, because I'm big on like making everyone else happy. And it's also to learn behavior that you don't even know to make yourself happy. And who comes first? What is that, like the airplane? You have to put the oxygen mask on first before you could be of help to anyone. And if you're not taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, then what are you doing? You're not living your life fulfilled. And it's sad because most people aren't. Like you said, I was living an imposter life.
Oh,
And
I was. Well, that's what we're taught. Like,
yeah,
we're not, one of the reasons why people still aren't saying, well, let me check with me before I check with everybody else is because we're just not simply taught that.
right.
It's still happening this day. It's like you need to worry about we, not me.
Mm.
I hear it in campaigning, like, but wait a minute. If I don't know me, I don't know we. I can't know what role I play if I don't take a moment and put myself first and show me the way, right, Mary? Show me the way. It's not going to be the same way as everybody else, but it's up to me to make a choice to say, okay, well, I'm ready to discover that way. And there's no blame or shame here. We're just still not really thinking that that is such a big piece of the puzzle. But I'm going to tell you, everyone, from living a life that I live, it is the biggest piece of the puzzle because once you are in your wholeness by the very daily practices, every single day still of coming home to you. How are you today, Mare Bear? What do you feel like doing? What feels really good? These things are important. And yes, we're changing the way. Nobody ever said that working for the man every day was the best life.
Except the
Right?
man.
It's not
Except the man. Yeah, except the
the
man. The man thinks it's great. We,
right.
we can get into how this country was orchestrated because the rich wanted workers, they didn't want thinkers, they didn't want you to be
Right.
the best that you can be.
They
And
can't control you if you know who you are.
exactly. And when we're all here for a reason. We all have a divine purpose. We're all here. And with all the noise and all the brainwashing, you can't find out what that is. And that's what we both want to help women with, or anyone with. It's just,
Yeah.
once you open that up and clear a little path, even if it's the 3 minutes every day, even if it's a minute every day to start, you'll start to hear and feel and see a different path. You might not realize, if you're feeling unfulfilled and all the things and you don't know what to do, you don't have to do anything except connect to yourself, and then all the things will start to come to you. You'll think of things. It's incredible once you connect to your inner you, whatever you want to call that, your soul, your inner being, the universe, God, whatever. So I
And
think.
I want to speak to that too. Something else you said I want to circle back to the daily gratitude.
Mm,
So I want to speak to the people that maybe they don't say it out loud, but maybe they humble it in their little head that say, I don't have anything to be grateful for. I just want to put that into perspective for you.
mm,
You have a heartbeat and a breathing body. You are alive. And I will tell you that that is freedom to create. Being alive, a heart beating, breathing human, a miracle. So on those days that ho hum, my circumstances, I can't find any gratitude in my circumstances. When you start just saying, I'm grateful that I woke up breathing, and I know that some of you are like, whatever. But again, I want to take this back to how people ask me every day, how do you get to where you are, Mary? I'm grateful for the miracle that I am. I'm grateful for the understanding that I am the miracle. And in that, without doing anything at all, other people can recognize that they too are a miracle. But I'm sorry, and I know that there are circumstances in our lives, friends, that are tough and they are activating, and some of us have a really challenging time seeing our way out of them. And that's a real thing. And all this is a real thing. But you're more likely to see your way out of them. And Elise can probably speak to this by just deciding today, I'm going to flip the switch and I'm going to give myself the first 3 minutes of the day. Because in that, you'll start attracting. And the more time you give that every day, the more days consecutively you do it, the more you'll start attracting the things. It won't be about doing anything. The things that really are sour in your life will leave your life. I'm telling you, I'm a living example of this.
so am I.
But I had to commit to myself in that seemingly because of all the noise we've heard our whole lives about others, 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 others. It is the single biggest switch that you can ever flip.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're both living
Coming home to yourself. You said it before we
Yeah.
opened the call, just like you said, coming home to
Coming
you.
to you. You're coming home to you. And it is, I know like all the gurus, we all say the same thing, like attracts like, and all the things, but it is so true that if you wake up and like circumstances don't matter. I mean, some people might be like, that's so not true. I mean, I'm in the world of shit. You are in a world of shit, but how you view the world of shit as I can get out of it or I can't get out of it is basically the differences. And you are like I always speak about this. People walk around and take for granted us. Like, look at us. This is insane. The human body is insane. How we operate is insane. We grow babies in us. Well,
Mhm.
women do. Sorry, guys, you can't. No matter what's going on in the world,
But the male seahorses, they're
they
covering
do.
the birthing process for the men.
Actually,
Amen to the
I,
male
I thought
seahorses.
they don't. They go, but they carry it and then they birth it. Yeah, I think it's really male seahorses. But
And then they
we're not.
probably take off, but that's whatever.
We're not going to go down that route. We're
We're
not going
not,
to go down that
the
road.
male
But, like,
seahorses are
but we
savior.
really, what you said, we really are incredible. And what I would like to add, if you can't see yourself as the miracle because maybe you're so down on yourself, some people can be really down. I always bring it down to the smallest thing. Like, do you have a pillow in your bed?
Mhm.
Do you have a bathroom? Do you have like the simplest luxuries in life? Like literally, like can you be grateful for your pillow and blanket? That's it. Don't think about anything else. Like bring it down to the lowest of low. Because I've also had people say, I have nothing to be grateful for. And then you make them see and they're like, wow, you're right. I have things to be grateful for. Because there always is. And there's always there's you could be optimistic about everything, or you could be pessimistic about everything. And like you said, it is truly a choice. And listen, you can have your pity. I call it the pity party. You can have your pity party. Hey, we're not saying to ignore your circumstances, ignore your shit. Have your pity party, but then you have to, pick yourself up and say, now what? But you can't feel that empowerment without the connecting to yourself every day and putting
And
yourself.
I love the pity parties because that's how I made my way out. I changed my perception of the ending to my 25-year forever. Is I said, okay, and it was a great therapist that I saw who said it and it never left me. Schedule the pity party. So when you feel the pity coming on, set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and let yourself be there and then get up and move on to the next moment.
Yep.
I I get to do that because I have a breath and a heartbeat that I'm mobile. I get to do that. I get to choose to do that. And I consciously have to remember that that's a choice. But it's
Yeah.
just some great tips,
It's
you know?
my, it's mindset at its finest. And it's, no one's, I think what humans expect is to go through life, rainbows and butterflies. And as soon as something really crappy happens and they're like, it's the end of the world and it's never going to end. And it's temporary and it's, yes, complain, yes, cry, yes, pity party, yes, grieve, loss of loved one, whatever. But life goes on. We are miracles and you're not meant to have that particular circumstance stall you for the rest of your life.
I've got something fun that came in for the rainbows and butterflies,
Yeah, go ahead.
because it's probably the last thing that we heard when we jumped into these bodies is don't forget, you can find your way to rainbows and butterflies. But yes, you're right. There are activating circumstances that we came in here to crush, right? Karmically,
And to
for
feel it
our lineage
and to
to
feel it.
release. Yeah. And we're miracles. You've heard it. Y'all have heard it, right? Everything you need is inside of you. That's true.
It is.
That's true. That circles right back to what we're coming back to. Everything you need is inside of you. So it's worth 3 minutes a day to go in there and say, hey, good looking.
But
What you got cooking? Make it fun.
I have a saying that I love, and I say to myself to remind myself, we are all stars wrapped in skin. What
Mm,
we seek has always been within. So that's a good one.
that's a
Because
good
we
one. That's a
are
really good one.
taught, and we won't go down the religion road, we won't go down, but we are taught to look outside of ourselves for answers for all the things, and it's all inside. But you
Mhm.
have to quiet your mind of all the outside noise and connect to your mind. And why don't you tell us a little bit about um, what's coming out on May 5th and tell everyone, the audience, how maybe they can work with you, or if they want to, someone has a book in them, or they don't even think they have a book in them, but they just, why don't you let the,
So it's super easy to find me at Mary Gooden, Gooden, on Facebook, on Instagram, on website, on Google. marygooden.com is my website, and you can grab a free gift over there. It's a mini journal. So this is the book of my abundant affirmations. I know it's all packaged up cute and fun, but it's you'll get a mini journal of it where there's 3 affirmations that are in that book and some activating pages where you can write your intentions and your reflections. And so this energy stems from the very 3 non-negotiables, like you talked about, Elise, that changed my life over the last decade, really. More now. It's been almost 15 years, which I tallied up the other day, and I thought, wow, I've had a great 5 years because I'm now, but anyway, and so these are some of they're strings of words, affirmations, smaffirmations, right? I know we all hear about it, but it's a string of words. Just like I can't, I don't, I won't, oh, my circumstances, I'll never get out. I'm out of here. I'm a miracle. I love myself. I trust myself. I am enough. It's okay to say these words because you're okay saying the other words that say I'm not enough, I don't trust myself, and I don't love myself. What's the damn difference? I always say.
yeah,
So these are some activating gifts you'll get if you go to my website. It's a little pop-up. But the biggest thing that you'll get from me really is the 3 things I want to share. Already we talked about, but the daily connection. Hi, hello. You are a person and I love you and I want to know what you want to do today. Number 2, Elise knows this too. Daily movement. Go move your body. Walking, even if it's just 5 big breaths. Okay. Say you're going to promise us that you're going to start a 3-minute practice every morning before you go to work or before you do anything else, before anybody else gets to see you, whatever. And so you set the timer and you do hi, how are you for 60 seconds. And then you do 5 deep breaths, or you just wiggle your body for 60 seconds. And then you celebrate something. The last 60 seconds is, I'm so happy that I just did these 2 things. I'm celebrating this. I'm celebrating that I said I love you to myself today. Simple celebrations. So those are my 3 stitches. And what you're going to get. So we have a book, a multi-author book coming out on May 5th. It's a volume 2 of a book called Soul Love,
mm,
and it's Rising from Within. And this is about having courage and truth, having the courage to speak your truth and really coming home to yourself, Elise, right? Coming home. And so what I'll be sharing in this is a little bit about my story, right? From panic to purpose,
nice.
going through the divorce after a 25-year relationship, finding the truth in me. I am remarried, but it's a 7-day experience. And some of it comes out of the book that I wrote that is a 21-day experience. But it's just going to be a 7-day experience, like a retreat in a book,
Oh,
where
nice.
you can say, you know what, I'm going to jump in for 7 days and see what it feels like to just add small things like we just talked about to your day. Okay, I'm going to promise myself the first 3 minutes of my day. And, there is radical change available there. You'd be so surprised how quickly your energy body responds, because that's all we're doing is playing with frequency.
Oh,
Words are frequency, experiences are frequency, everything that's happening on the earth is frequency. And when a new vibration comes into my body, a new thought, a new word, a new movement, a new habit, we're changing our frequency automatically. And it's that simple. It's that simple. Even tap, anything. It's so
yeah.
simple. If you find that's why people may have, I don't do traditional tapping practices, but that's what that's for, is if a thought comes in that I don't desire to have anymore, I can just kind of tap in and say, I'm going to release that out and then reframe it. I'm not enough. I am whole, right? So we can just And then make it a game. Because everything I do, even as a mentor with my premium clients, it's a game. It's a fun, inviting game that we really are here to engage in. And the more that we decide I'm going to be playful, because you're hearing that now mainstream too, right?
Yeah.
We'll play more. The more we decide to be playful and play the games, I'm not, you know, I'm not looking at games as from the perspective that they're bad. When we were children, games were fun, right? It
Life,
was play. We're playing.
yeah, that's like you say, play, and it's about becoming aware of yourself too. You know,
Mhm.
not just going on autopilot. And if you've been listening to me, my listeners for a while, all I talk about is frequency and vibration. And
Oh,
it's
good.
not making this stuff up. It's science based also. So for those of you skeptics, it's scientifically proven. So it's just a matter of have an open mind. Reach out. I'll put everything in the show notes. Reach out and try.
Right.
Mary's way, my way, whatever you want to do, and just have an open mind and try it. Try it for whatever yours is, the 7 days, or they say 21 days it takes to form a habit. You're
Whatever.
open to it, to really, really, for the change. It's guaranteed. And I'm saying it's guaranteed, but you have to be open and ready and willing, basically.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite affirmations is and this changed my life, which created a very successful publishing and mentorship space for me. But this was it. And I say it on my events. I am open, willing, and committed to exploring and embracing the magic and mystery that I am. I am open, willing, and committed to exploring and embracing the magic and mystery that I am. I'm pointing to myself again, that I am. And that was a game changer when I opened that up. Like the universe was like, oh, she's ready to play.
Yeah, definitely email me that.
Yeah, that's a good one,
I like,
huh?
I
So
like
yes.
that. I like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
So,
go on socials. If you want to know with the Soul Love book and get the links, if you want to check out my chapter in that, or you want to grab one of my other books, just look me up on Facebook or go to marygooden.com and you can find me there. And there's always ways to like, oh, connect with me. So I would love to for that or go get Elise's things. But just try something new
yep.
because newness lives on the other side of something new.
Yeah. And if you're, obviously you have nothing to lose. That's what I tell
Oh,
people.
that's what it says on the well, what it says on the back of my first book is what else is possible. But
Same,
it's the same thing. You've got
same thing.
nothing
Like
to
you have
lose.
nothing to lose by trying. You can go back. I always say to people, you know, I guarantee this will work, or you can have your old life back.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you know
that's
what I
fun.
mean? You know what I mean? It's just, you can always be miserable. You might as well try not
Right.
to be, right? So I'm so grateful that you were here today. I want you to know that you have helped me so much in my life, and everyone listening, if you want to reach out to Mary, besides what she said, with her websites, everything, it will be in the show notes. Please reach out to her for anything. She's open, willing, and readily able to
Right.
be as happy as that every day, because
Yeah.
this is how Mary is all the time. Mary is
I just
at least in my experience. But just we're here for you, and she's here for you. That's what we are here for, is to help people come home to themselves. So till next time, I wish you all much love and light, and thank you again, Mary, for being here so much. Take care.
bye everyone.